Hi guys, it's Mo from Mo Reads It, and today we're doing tier ranking all my books I read in 2021. So for those who don't know, I comfort read through 2021. You can check that out right here. I recently just rediscovered my love of reading after a 9-year reading slump. So today we're tier ranking all the books I read in 2021. I did comfort read through 2021, so I pretty much reread a lot of books I used to read in my YA days. So I didn't venture out too much. I did venture out a little bit, but I didn't venture out too much. But it's pretty much probably going to be books you guys have already seen, already heard, and I would love for you guys to do comfort reading in your own lives. If you ever feel like you're in a reading slump or life is just annoying, comfort read. It is so fun. Reread your favorite books, enjoy them, put no pressure on yourself, just have fun. Pleasure reading is really one of my favorite parts about reading, because there really is no pressure when you're reading outside of school circumstances or for work. It's just for fun. Please note that this is not all the books I read in 2021. I did not log my nonfiction properly for 2021, so these numbers are off. I did read around 67-ish, give or take a few books in 2021, but they're not all going to be on this tier list because some of them I just didn't log properly. So this tier list will feature 58 books that I read in 2021, even though I definitely read 67-ish or more or less books. Now let's get started. So the 3 tiers I decided to use is Yes, I Love. So these are like my comfort reads, 5-star reads, super good, A1, chef kiss. My next one is Pretty Darn Good. This is like 5-star. It's a good book. It's readable. I enjoy it. Third is Okay. This is about my 3-star tier. Meh is like, it's 2 stars. It was readable, but I kind of wish I didn't read it. And last but not least, it's a no. So pretty much, I probably should have DNF'd it, but I did not, and it ends up as my 1-star book. Okay, so first one we're starting off with is actually A Court of Frost and Starlight from the ACOTAR series. Okay, this I knew was a novella, so I wasn't as disappointed as everyone else was. So for me, it is okay. It was exactly what I expected it to be because I knew it was a novella. I knew it was going to be more like a slice of life book. And next is A Court of Mist and Fury. This one I put it pretty darn good, even though it was very slow paced. The redeeming qualities of it definitely made it a 4 stars in my heart. But it was, overall, ACOTAR is like a 3-4 series for me. But I read it at the right time. I read it when I was super sick, and I needed that comfort level. I needed that immersion, and it gave it to me. And for that, I'm happy. A Court of Silver Flames. Honestly, it's okay, but it really could qualify as meh, because I think it's meh. For what it was supposed to be, I think it belongs in meh. I don't rate it 2 stars, I do rate it 3 stars, because I feel like A Court of Silver Flames had immersion, kind of, but I don't know, it was just okay to me. I don't care about Nesta or Cassian, so yeah. The next, A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm just gonna have to put this as between okay and pretty darn good. I will bump it up to pretty darn good. I don't really remember that much from A Court of Wings and Ruin. I remember I liked it. I remember it had immersion. I enjoyed it, so it was worth it. The immersion, the story, it was basic, but I enjoyed it, so I'll put it as pretty darn good. Breaking Dawn. I honestly, since I always love these, the nostalgia just puts it up to Yes, I Love. But I don't remember what category I would really categorize this as. I just know I really go back to rereading the whole Twilight Saga, so I'll put it as a Yes, I Love. Chain of Gold. Oh, I love Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I think it's pretty darn good. It definitely is a upper 4-star for me. It's like a 4.9, 4.8. So it could really go into Yes, I Love. But Chain of Iron is a Yes, I Love. Hardcore amazingness. I need more of it. When Chain of Thrones come out, I will be pre-ordering that. City of Ashes. I think it's okay. And I feel like most of the City older Shadowhunter bones can probably go in here because honestly I really liked them when I read them when I was younger, and I do enjoy reading them as I'm older, but they just don't do what they used to do for me, so think I'll just put all of the Mortal Instrument books there. Infernal Devices, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Angel, and Clockwork Princess wrecked me. Clockwork Princess made me rediscover who I was, trash it, rediscover again, and just left me in like this whole reading hangover thing. It was amazing and beautiful, and I wish I could reread this book new for the first time once again, but fortunately I can't, so I'll still reread it to relive the love in my heart. Next is Eclipse, Default Nostalgia, Ghost of the Shadowhunter Market. So I think I put this as, technically this is a novella, but I really liked having the nostalgia of the Infernal Device world along with the timeline grouping. So Ghost of Shadowhunter Market is going to go in pretty darn good. Into Still Blue, I love this series. So this is under the Never Sky series by Veronica Rossi. And let me just put all of her books there. Into Still Blue, Through Every Night, and under the Never Sky. These are like some of my favorite books. Oh my gosh, I don't think I have Under the Never Sky here. Oh yes I do. Yes I do. It's right here. I love these books. I read these a long time ago, and it was very character driven, and I really enjoyed it, and it was actually one of my favorite books to read. I think it's very underrated, but I think it's only a favorite for me because I just really love the characters and the dystopian aspect that they're put into and the way the story unraveled. But it's a very easy read, very simple, but it's always a 5-star read for me. I comfort read it. I comfort read it when I was sick. It's just good. I really enjoy it. It is a fantasy romance. It is dystopian, and I really liked it. So Midnight Sun, I think I will put as pretty darn good. I really like the original Twilight writing style, actually. I know a lot of people were on Stephenie Meyer were like, your writing style is so bad, but I have read worse that has been published then and now. Her writing style is not that bad. It's not amazing. It's not like the most lovely prose that it ever could be, but trust me, there is worse produced and printed that is hyped on Book Talk, BookTube, and Bookstagram that I'm just like, I don't know what you guys doing. Queen of Air and Darkness, I also put as pretty darn good, along with probably the entire Dark Artifices series because it was good. It had like the immersion I needed, but I do not care about Emma. I love everyone else besides her. I love Livy. I love Ty. I love Julian. I love that they're in the LA Institute. But I do not care about Emma. I don't know. She just came off very flat for me. It's my first time not really liking a Shadowhunter woman character. Or like feeling like she lacks dimension. I feel like Emma just lacked dimension. Clary was annoying, but she had more dimension. She was more interesting. Emma was just basic, and not in the basic way. Like she wasn't bad, she wasn't good. She was just basic to me. I have no emotions. Anyway, I love Ty though and Livy. I think they're my favorite. Ooh, and Drew. I love Drew. I love all the Blackthorns. Anyway, it's gonna go in pretty darn good for me. Oh, I put Lord of Shadow here twice. Oops. New Moon is a yes I love. Twilight Official Guide, it's like, yeah. It did what it's supposed to do. It's not something I'm going to read for immersion or anything like that, but it did what it needed to do. Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I definitely felt like this was a 3-star. That's just how I felt in my bones. It just wasn't interesting. It just dragged. The pacing was slow, but it was still like a really good book for me. I still reread it. I want to reread it. I want to reread it for you guys so we can have a discussion about it. But I liked it. Oh, Show Your Work. I think this was pretty darn good. It definitely encouraged me to pursue more of my non-perfect creativities. So enjoyed that one. Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy. But pretty darn good because it did what it needed to do for me. It gave me immersion, it gave me good storytelling, it gave me Shadowhunters, and I feel like this is so much better than the Bane Chronicles because the Bane Chronicles was really like everywhere. Since the Bane Chronicles was everywhere, I kind of want to put it in yeah because I only think I like 2 stories of the Bane Chronicles, and even then, it just didn't do it for me. I am happy that it's a foundational book that started the novella world. The Little Book of Huga. So Huga is pretty much like cozy living, simple living, happy living, and I think I'm gonna put this in okay. It did what it needed to do, you know? The Night Circus. It's either a meh or it's a no for me, but I'm gonna put it at meh. Gonna give it some grace. I didn't read it properly, so gotta reread it. I need to read those chapter margins because tell you the time, date, and the place where they are, and I was very confused because I wasn't reading those. A Darker Shade of Magic. I put this okay. I didn't really like it. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I think I read it at the wrong time. I was in this horrible book slump because of Shadow and Bone and Six Crows and Six of Crows, and I was just in a horrible book slump. So I have to actually reread A Darker Shade of Magic. Catching Fire. It's okay. But where is it? Hunger Games. Hunger Games is always a love for me. I love the first Hunger Games book. Mockingjay can burn. I do not like Mockingjay. I remember way back when it first came out and I was so excited to read it, I bought the hardback book. I read it in like one day. And I was sitting in one part of the room and I threw it against the other wall in the other side of the room. And I was like, this was horrible. I hated this book. So much potential. Lost. City of Bones. Totally okay. Clockwork Angel. Masterpiece. Oh, I think I put that twice. I put Clockwork Prince, I think, twice. Something like that. I did something twice. Oops. Oh well. Fable was an enjoyment. Even though it was 3 stars, it did give me nice immersion. So I'm going to put you as pretty darn good, as well as Namesake. It's a duology. It's nautical. It's pretty good. I like the nautical vibes of it. Has some technical writing for the nautical lifestyle, so that was pretty interesting. And I like Fable as a character. She's cool. But it was nothing amazing, nothing that like left me reeling, but it was good. The audiobook actually made it better, and the author's Pinterest of the inspiration, or like it's not inspiration, it's more like the vibe of the book, the aesthetic, made it even better. I wish I had seen and listened to those before I read Fable. I think I would have enjoyed it more, but Namesake really took off in my heart because of those 2 aspects. If I ever reread Fable, I will probably listen to an audiobook and look at the aesthetic on Pinterest, as well as these are gorgeous covers. The covers and marketing for this, A1. Please do not put the Reese book pick sticker that cannot come off the book onto the book, and I will happily get the hardcovers or the paperback covers of these for my collection because they're just so beautiful. And I do enjoy the story, and I hope to enjoy it more when I actually read it audiobook with the aesthetic properly in my mind. From Blood and Ash, it's a no for me. I know y'all gonna hate me, y'all not gonna like me, and that's okay. It's well with my soul. But this was so hyped, and it fell so far down in my heart that I DNF the series, and I'm not going to read it unless like one of my friends want to read it and it's going to be for fun, but I'm not going to read it for my personal pleasure and joy. It was just really bad. It was poorly written. It was annoying. I didn't like the characters. It was smut, but like it wasn't even done well. Like, at least make it be done well. Like, it wasn't for me. It was overhyped. It was overhyped to extraordinary lengths. Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This one was actually really good. I put it as 4 stars. I think it would have been better if I listened to this, which I ended up listening to like the last 3/4 of it. It was so good. I did my workout with it. It was so immersive. It was fun. But my issue with contemporary romance is that I always have this hollow part of my heart that needs the fantasy to be filled. Which is why I DNF the Brown Sisters trilogy. But I'm thinking of taking that back and actually going through it because I like listening to it. But reading it was not for me, and I feel like the hole in my heart just grew bigger when I read it. But listening to it, I still had that hole in my heart, but I feel like it's a good in-between book. Like, you don't know what to read, but you want to read something anyway. You want your mind to be, like, taken to a nice, relaxing place. So I think I have my purpose for it now. Before, I was trying to give it the purpose of filling that little hole in my heart where fantasy romance is supposed to be. But it will never fill that hole in my heart. And that hole will always be there because that is the type of reader I am. But I need to know that I can read other genres and not expect it to fill certain aspects of my reading journey. And just fill in certain neat points that are good to have in your reading life. And I think that's what I will do that for. Also, I'm starting some cool Colleen Hoover books, and hopefully that will be part of that as well. We shall see. I'm trying to get into new genres, but also the fantasy romance in me really needs to be sustained before I feel like I can venture onward. Punk 57. So, tell me how I did not know this was erotica. Okay, this is one of the new books I read that year. I didn't know it was erotica. I was trying to find romance. I think it was... meh. I really felt like I had no plot. It was basic. The steamy bits, like, I feel like everyone just loves it for the steamy bits, but I didn't really care about the steamy bits. Like, if you're gonna have steamy bits, it has to be done well. It has to be, like, done really well for me, and it just wasn't done really well for me, and I just did not care. Did not care. I'm not super into smut. If you are, you might like this way more than I do, because that is the whole premise of the book. I didn't know that when I read it. I read it thinking it was supposed to be a romance book. I didn't find it romantic. I thought it was just angsty, and I just thought it was angsty, and that's not my type of romance book, so it wasn't for me. But I also went in with the wrong mindset, because I really truly thought it was romance, because a romance reader recommended it to me, not knowing that it was just pure erotica. Next is Raybearer. I think this was a 4-3. I'll put it in 4. It was a low 4. It was probably like a solid 4. I like the audiobook for this better. I really enjoyed the story. I am going to continue onto Redemptor, the next book in the duology. It was a good story. I wanted more, though, for the fantasy romance aspect of it, but I really did like it. I love the world building, the characters. Actually, I wish we got more with the characters, like more character, not necessarily development, but more knowledge on some of the background characters that were major players in the story. Sorcery of Throne. This was a solid 4-star. I enjoyed the story. It was good. I want to try more of this author's writing. It was more of a side piece romance, but it definitely reminded me of Beauty and the Beast, and I really like that about it. Even though it's not technically a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I just got those type of vibes from it. It was good. 4-star. Stalking Jack the Ripper is definitely between 3 and a 4. We're going to put this one in 3. It was like the last book I read of December 2021. It was good. I enjoyed it. I'm trying to get into Carrie Mascall's writing because of Kingdom of the Curse, which everyone is going crazy about on Book Talk and BookTube. So I was just testing the waters. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue was probably one of my most disappointing books to read because I thought it was going to be better than it actually was. I think this is an okay book. Is the writing phenomenal? Yes. Is the characters full of depth? Yes. It just wasn't immersive for me. And it wasn't as romantic as I thought it was going to be. Like, I feel like there could have been way more romance in this novel. And I felt like the pacing was very slow. So for that, I give it 3. But V. Schwab is a very good writer. She has lovely prose. She writes very in-depth characters. So I think you would probably like this more than I would if you are looking for those aspects more. I feel like I need pace and I need the fantasy romance to be higher for me to put this into a 4. But it's definitely a high 3. It's like a 3.9. Midnight Lie. I think this was okay. I think I gave it like a 3-ish. It was good. I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember it was a good story. It was a quick read. I enjoyed it. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. 5 stars. You should read this book at least once in your life. It's so good. It's a sapphic love story. I want to say it's in the 1950s. Don't quote me on that. It's in some historical period. It is amazing. It is good. It is told through two point of views. It is written kind of like a memoir, and it is lovely. The prose, chef's kiss, the imagery, oh, my heart. It was so good. Twilight, you know you up there. Yes, I love. 1,000 Boy Kisses. I would put this as pretty darn good. 4 stars, made me cry. I enjoyed it, had good immersion. I was here for it, but I don't think I'd read it again because it did leave me with that hollow hole. I think I probably should actually, now I'm getting this revelation, just listen to contemporary romance because I don't care about it as reading it. I really don't. I feel like it's a waste of my reading time. I could be reading fantasy romance and having a great time laughing and crying and joy. Six of Crow. This is a complicated one because I had that horrible experience with it the first time because I really wanted to read Six of Crow because I wanted to watch the Shadow and Bone series on Netflix, and I do not want to watch the show without reading the book, so I wanted to read Shadow and Bone, Six of Crow, Crooked Kingdom, and all the other ones. Put me in a horrible book slump though, but then I read Crooked Kingdom and I really enjoyed Crooked Kingdom. Crooked Kingdom, I'll put you as 4 stars. Six of Crow, I will put you at your original 2 until I actually get back to rereading it. I think I'll like it on the reread, but for so far, Six of Crows earned a 2. I know a lot of y'all are mad about that. It wasn't my favorite book. It was in my worst books of 2021. Six of Crows and Shadow and Bone put me in such a horrible book slump. It was just reckless. It was unmerciful. And I just could not deal. So, until they redeem themselves, they're going to be at that 2 star. I will reread it in 2022. I have said that. But I am going to leave it here for now. And we'll see. Maybe 2022 on the tier ranking will be higher. Maybe it'll be worthy. Maybe it'll be happy. We shall see. Shadow and Bone. Meh. Siege and Storm. You're okay because Nikolai comes in. And Rise and Ruin, I'm also going to put you in meh. Shadow and Bone did not do it for me. The whole reading slump and everything. And last, Throne of Glass. You were okay. I feel like nothing happened. The writing is better than ACOTAR, which I'm happy about, but I feel like there was no plot, the pacing was bad, nothing really happened. It just didn't do it for me. And I expected to do better, but a lot of people told me, just like ACOTAR, the second book is better. So I'm going to continue on the Throne of Glass series, see how I feel, wade the waters. But I really just want her writing to evolve very quickly because she has good story weaving. Not that great story writing. It is getting better. It has gotten better with all the books I have read after ACOTAR, which is Throne of Glass. Her writing is getting better, so I can say that. Okay, guys. That is all the books I read in 2021. Tier ranked everything. Since I mostly comfort read through 2021, most of them are in the 4-5 star area. And then a lot of the new books are actually in the okay, meh, or it's a no area, unfortunately. But I do see that a lot of my new books did make it to pretty darn good. And a lot of my comfort reads, I do comfort read as a series whole. So the series as a whole would be like, yes, I love. But the individual books in like some random parts of the series might not be it for me. It might be like an okay book or a meh book or a pretty darn good book. So that was interesting to see for my tier ranking. And yeah. I read 67 books last year. I hope to read 100 this year. If I make it, it's okay. If I don't make it, it's also okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you guys are reading in 2022 because I need recommendations that are new because all my recommendations are old since I was in this 9-year reading slump. I'm still catching up on all the good. I know I have to read Colin Hoover because Book Talk is gonna because Book Talk is like raving about it, but we shall see if I even like it. Since I did get the revelation that I need to listen to the audiobooks for contemporary writing, I think I might listen to all of them on audiobook. I bought 2 of them, so I might just see if my library has the audiobook. But that's all, folks. I hope you have a great day, and I love y'all. Bye.